Good morning, students. Welcome to the biology class. In our last session, we finished with our life process, respiration. And today we are going to start with another life process, very important life process, that is your transportation. What is transportation? The movement of glucose, oxygen, and other organic and inorganic substances from one part of the body to other is known as transportation. So whatever we have eaten, that is in the form of organic and inorganic substances, the oxygen which we inhale during the respiration, during the nutrition, those substances are to be transported from one part of body to the another to carry out our metabolic activities. The organ associated with the transport of these substances form the transport system. Transport in unicellular organisms like amoeba, paramecium takes place with the simple process of diffusion, means the substances move from cell to cell directly through the general surface of the body. The process is known as diffusion. Whereas in the complex organism or in the multicellular organism, transport of the substances takes place by the specific transport system. So first we discuss about the transportation in plants. So transport system in plant is simple and slow. Plants have very low energy needs than the animal. Why? Because plants do not move and plant body has large proportion of dead cells in many tissues. So therefore they require a very simple and slow transport system because they do not move and they have a large portion of dead cells. Necessity of transport system in plants. So why the transport system is being important, required in the plants? The first is it is essential for the movement of vital substances, that may be mineral, nutrients, from sources to the sink. Sources means where that substances are present, and sink where they are going to be utilized. Plants absorb water and minerals like nitrogen, phosphorus from soil by roots, and these are needed in the leaves for their metabolic activities like photosynthesis. Food synthesized in leaves need to be distributed throughout the plant body by the tips to the roots. So the food synthesized in the leaves need to be distributed throughout the plant body up to the tips of the roots. So leaves are on the above the surface of the ground, and the requirement of the food is till the tips, that is under the ground. So we require a very special type of the transport system in plants. So the transport system of the plant, so plants, they have two independent transport system of conducting tubes. Number one is xylem transport, another is your phloem transport. These are also known as your complex plant tissue, that is your xylem and phloem. So what is the function of the xylem? A system to absorb and transport water and minerals from roots to the leaves. So the main function of the xylem is the transportation of water and mineral. So dissolve water and the minerals from the roots, from the soil to the top of the plant, that is the leaves. Phloem, a system to distribute food which is being synthesized by the process of photosynthesis from the leaves to all parts of the plant. That is, from leaves they goes to the flowers, they go to the bud, they go to the root. So that is with the help of the phloem, and the water transport is with the help of the xylem, and phloem helps in the transport of food. So in this figure, you can see that is both the processes are being shown. So water and minerals with the help of the conducting tissue, that is your xylem, and the photosynthesis product, that is your food, by the phloem. So it may goes to the top, it may goes to the down, but that xylem, that is the transport of water, is unidirectional. This is a major difference between the phloem and the water transport. Xylem transport helps in the transport of water and minerals from the roots to the top of the plants. That is one direction only. Whereas the phloem, they helps in the transport of the food in the multi-directional. From here it may go towards the root, or they may go towards the leaf structure. So that is bidirectional or multi-directional, whereas the xylem is unidirectional. This is a major difference between the xylem and the phloem transport. So first we will discuss about the xylem transport, or the transport of water and minerals. So as we know that in the xylem tissues, we are having the vessels and tracheids of the roots, stems and the leaves, and they are interconnected to form the continuous system of the water conducting channel reaching all parts of the plant, that is from the root to the stem and from stem to the leaves. The upward movement of water and mineral salts from roots to the aerial part, that is your leaves, your branches, your flower of the plant against the gravitational force, is known as ascent of sap. So what is sap? That is the dissolved minerals or the salt in water. Ascent means upward movement, ascending movement. So this is the picture of your xylem tissue, in which you can see the vessels, you can see the tracheids are there, the cytoplasm is absent. So as we know, the xylem is a dead tissue, and they helps in conducting the water and dissolved minerals in the continuous manner from roots to the top of the plant. So how the water and the mineral transported in the plant? This is your NCRT question, and very important question. Water and minerals are transported in dissolved form, that is the sap, through the xylem element, that is your vessels and tracheids. The root cells in contact with the soil absorb the minerals ion actively and accumulate in them. This creates a difference in the osmotic concentration between the roots and the soil water, because when they are being accumulated in the root, so that the minerals, they becomes more in the root and the lesser in the soil water, and because of that there is a difference in the osmotic concentration, and because of this difference the water moves into the root from the soil to eliminate the difference. So they start moving, the difference is again being removed out, and hence there is a steady movement of water into the root xylem, creating the column of the water that is steadily pushed upward. So the xylem tissue with the tracheids and the vessel is just a conducting tubes, dead conducting tubes, through which the concentrated or the dissolved substance move from roots to the stem xylem and tracheids, and from the xylem tracheids of the stem to the leaves. The water lost through the stomata in the transpiration is replaced by the water in the xylem vessels of the leaves. The evaporation of the water molecules from the leaf cells create a suction which pulls the water from the root xylem to the leaves in the continuous chain. Because of cohesion, means the forces between the water and water, and adhesion means water and the xylem. Tension known as the transpiration pull theory. Thus, transpiration pull helps in the upward movement of the sap from root to the top of the tall tree. So we said that whenever the message comes from the leaves to the stem, from stem to the root, that there is a deficiency of the water, there is a deficiency of the mineral and the roots, then the root xylem will absorb the minerals and the water from the soil water, and then it will start moving from root to the stems, from stem to the leaves, and the difference is being over, and that is steadily moves from the root to the top of the plant by creating the tension, and because of the transpiration, therefore the theory is known as the transpiration pull theory. As you have seen that whenever you water your plants, so within a few hours the whole water is being disappeared and the soil is again ready for the irrigation or watering during the summer season. गर्मियों में जब हम अपने पौधों को पानी देते हैं तो कुछ ही घंटों बाद पानी खत्म हो जाता है, मिट्टी फिर से सूख जाती है, बिकॉज जो पानी हमने दिया वो रूट से कहाँ गया, स्टेम्स में, स्टेम से गया लीव्स में, और लीव्स से चला गया सराउंडिंग में इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ए वाटर वेपर. द प्रोसेस इज नोन एज द ट्रांसपीरेशन. जब वहां से पानी लॉस होगा तो उसका मैसेज कहाँ आएगा, लीव्स पे, लीव से स्टेम में, स्टेम से रूट में, तो फिर रूट्स पानी कहाँ से लेंगे, सॉइल से. So because of this tension, this suction, the water moves from root to the top of the plant, and the theory known as the transpiration pull theory. So during the daytime, the transpiration pull theory helps in the upward movement of the sap, whereas during the night, the root pressure is there, which plays a major driving force. So by this picture will be more clear. So this is the root from where the water is being taken. From the root, that is to your stem, and from stem it will goes to the leaves, and from the leaves the water is being lost through the stomata in the form of a water vapors, and that creates a tension in the xylem of the leaves, then to the stems of the leaves, and then to the roots of the leaves, and then they will move from root to the stems, from stem to the leaves, only because of the transpiration. So that was a unidirectional flow of water from the root to the top of the plant, that is your leaves. So this is what known as the transportation of water and the minerals with the help of a transport system, that is known as the xylem. Next, and the very important topic is, what is transpiration? The loss of water in the form of the vapors from the aerial parts. Aerial parts means your leaves of a plant through the opening known as the stomata is transpiration. What is the importance? It helps in absorption and upward movement of water and minerals dissolved in the soil from the roots to the leaves, known as the ascent of sap, and the theory is transpiration pull theory. It regulates the temperature and it cools the leaves and the surrounding air. So wherever the transpiration takes place means the loss of water is there. So in that particular surrounding, the vapors are there, the water is there, which keep the temperature cool. Therefore, we would feel like sitting under the trees, and that gives you a very cooling effect because of the transpiration. But during the humidity, nowadays that is the rainy season is going on, the humidity is there, so transpiration rate is low. And again the water which is being present in the plants, they are not being evaporating, और मिट्टी गीली रहती है बहुत समय तक. सो ह्यूमिडिटी के टाइम, रेनी सीजन के टाइम हम अपने पौधों को पानी जल्दी से नहीं देते हैं क्योंकि ट्रांसपीरेशन रेट हमारा कम हो जाता है और बहुत ट्रांसपीरेशन पुल नहीं है, लॉस ऑफ वाटर नहीं है, तो आपके मिट्टी से पानी खींच के ऊपर तक जाइलम नहीं लेके जाता बिकॉज वो ऑलरेडी पानी से भरा हुआ है. Is it clear now? What is the major concept? Major concept of a transportation of water is कि जब पानी कम हो जाता है plants में, बिकॉज ऑफ द ट्रांसपीरेशन, तो उसका मैसेज जब आपके रूट्स तक आता है तो वो सॉइल से पानी खींच के ऊपर तक लेके जाता है। दैट इज कॉल्ड एज अ ट्रांसपीरेशन पुल, क्योंकि ट्रांसपीरेशन के कारण मैसेज नीचे आया और फिर आप पानी खींच के ऊपर तक चला गया। पर जब मौसम है आपका ह्यूमिडिटी का, जब आपके सराउंडिंग्स में ऑलरेडी पानी बहुत ज़्यादा है और आपका पानी लॉस ही नहीं हो रहा है प्लांट से, तो आपकी मिट्टी बहुत दिनों तक गीली रहती है। मीन्स पानी की कोई टेंशन नहीं है, प्लांट्स में ऑलरेडी पानी है, कोई उसमें टेंशन क्रिएट नहीं हुई है, कोई ट्रांसपीरेशन नहीं हुआ, तो ट्रांसपीरेशन पुल भी नहीं होगा। ठीक है, सो दिस इज व्हाट कॉल्ड, व्हाट इज द how the water is being transported, and the major driving force is your transpiration pull. So in this picture you can see that the water is going from the roots to the top of the plant, and through the stomata the loss of the water takes place, and the process is known as the transpiration. And under this root and in surrounding you will find a particular very cool surrounding regulated by the temperature. That's why it regulates your surrounding temperature, keeping your surrounding cool. That is known as your transpiration. So next transport is your phloem transport. The transport of the soluble products of photosynthesis, that is a food, is called translocation. It occurs in the part of the vascular tissue known as the phloem. Phloem delivers the food in the dissolved form to storage of the organs of the root, fruits and seed and the growing parts of the plant, because they need the energy. Besides transporting the product of photosynthesis, the phloem transport the amino acid and other substances like hormones. So this is the picture of your phloem tissue. So they are having a companion cell, they are having a sieve tubes through which the transportation of the food takes place with the help of the companion cell. How? So how is food transported in the plants? Food is transported in the dissolved form through the phloem. The process is known as translocation. Translocation of food and other substances takes place in the sieve tube with the help of adjacent companion cell in both upward and downward direction. Transport of the nutrients occur through the physical forces, but entry and exit of nutrients from the phloem occurs only through an active process utilizing the energy from the ATP. So the transport of the food, or you can say the translocation, is the energy consuming process in which the expenditure of energy is there in the form of ATP. Entry of nutrient into the phloem increases the osmotic pressure of tissue, causing the water to move into the cell. Pressure moves the material in the phloem to the tissues which has a less pressure. In this way, according to the plant's requirement, the nutrient get translocated. So we have used two words, that is sink and the source. Source, the region of supply, like your leaves and the roots are there, and the sink is the region of utilization, that is your leaves in the case of the xylem and the various parts of the plant in the case of your translocation. So that is a point from where the things are formed and where the things are being utilized. So this is about the xylem and the phloem transport. Our next lesson will be on your transportation in the animals. Till then, stay home, stay happy. Thank you.